taken, is single column, double column, triple column, right? And no, what are the priority should be given for the page one, etc., etc., right? So when you go through this carefully, and what the priority should be given for the state, for the story, okay, and what are the how many lines can be taken as a headline if it's a big story on the front page one or page two or page three, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, and especially on Sunday, on features, and again, special story, news analysis, a news feature. I'm talking print media. So obviously, we find different. No, they take care about the page layout also on the feature desk also. No, relate to the Sunday magazine. You find the Sunday magazine on Sunday along with the newspaper, right? Especially and especially during some festivals and maybe during that August 15th again, January 26th, you find special issue will be produced by the media houses. And obviously, they have to follow different stories, be carried out and relate to that event, relate to that particular day and all. So when you open this eyes, when you read that content carefully, you can find different headlines being followed for each and every story and all, for each and every page. So that we should observe it very carefully, right? Now, what is the most important role it plays generally, that because this headline is what it shows your face, a face value. It has a face value and it shows the story and all, right? And also, we count and give the headline for each and every story, right? Yes or no? A small headline, big one, small letters, big letters, bold, which we have to, which we learned earlier also, what the typeface, and is it how many types of typefaces are there? Generally, what types we follow and all. So please check it out properly. Okay. Now relate to this, even what I told you, even relate to this editing also, we need to have punctuation. We have to know thoroughly English grammar and all, including grammar, punctuation marks. Everything should be known to the editor. Okay. And see that, this is the page number, see, 93. Okay. Yeah, I'm following 93. And the general tips and suggestions, don't overdo it. So what happens is generally when you do there's no time, because in the newspaper print media, we work against the time, right? Each and every story is important. Each and every minute is important. Okay. And what have been edited by you will be carried out by looking into by the news editor, as I told you already. Okay. So when you have to, so obviously after completing one story, you'll be given so many stories also, maybe 10, 20 per day, because as the news flows into your on the desk and all, from the reporting section, from the foreign section, from the different state correspondents also they send to you. So you have to be very careful and all. So when you do this, obviously you have to do proper editing as per the story. Okay. And you should do the best editing, best reading without any errors, or maximum, avoid the maximum errors. But you can really, a beautiful story you can read by the reader. Okay. So need not to go as you always think that as a sub editor, we always think that no, a proofreader will take care about my editing if it was something wrong in my headline, maybe a single column, okay, maybe in a capital letters, small letters, and again inverse letters and all. So that we don't, the proofreader will never take care about that. You have to do as a sub editor, and the proofreader only just give the overlook, because he's a final decision maker related to the page, related to the content and all, before getting published. Is it clear? So that's the reason we're very careful, because don't depend on him, because otherwise you'll blacklist it and you won't giving any good stories and all, and you won't be giving any byline stories and all, and you won't be given any chance to do your best also, because gaining the confidence of the editor is very important. Gaining the confidence and getting the byline for the story, or maybe, for example, we have the columnist also. Great columnists are there. When you think about the Panir Selvan in Tamil, in the Hindu newspaper, he writes on in the Hindu, as a columnist. So obviously when you read it carefully, you can find it so beautiful written content. So don't think that the writer also may commit some mistakes. So you have to rectify those mistakes which been done by the writer, the author, and the reporter. Is it clear? So that authority should gain, that confidence should gain as a sub-editor. Fine. Now, the box item, what is the box item which is specially designed, or maybe you find very, where you can have a very exclusive story, very exclusive story, maybe exclusive, interview, or maybe relate to any, even Jaleta. I think news time it has come in the news time. I generally it's not so, because the news time when I was working news time, there was one reporter. No, she reported that Jalita has a baby, and she's staying in hospital in some hotel, checked in hotel. That became a box item for the news time at that time. Is it clear to you? So that way, and now it is not believable. When I read, when I came through somebody who has worked with the Jayalalitha and the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. Okay, because when she was actress, her life was so different. Then become the politician. After become politician, a different story will be there, right? So what I'm telling you is that Dalit VIP people, when you commit any mistake or do any inauguration or do any special story or do anything very unique thing and all, that will boxed item and all. Exclusive story, exclusive mark, hallmark is given the box setting in the newspaper, print and all, print and all. So language is very important. Legal propriety. So don't say generally, for example, we have also called law correspondence, right? So with the law correspondent, we have the language. He knows the subject. He can know terminology. He can write very well with these and all. And where to get the information and all. How to talk to the advocate and all. How to talk to the victim and all. How to get the information from different sources and all. That will be known to the law correspondent because he is well aware of the law uh, cases and all. Right. So at that juncture, me as a commoner, or maybe doesn't have any knowledge about law and all, I cannot write as a law correspondent. So even that matters a lot because that subject expertise is also important in relate to the story. Because suppose, Advocate Ram Jethmalani gave hearing on, I may say that at the time, what is that, ma? What is that? December 6th, ka, hai na? To give that statement and all. So after that, so many cases are taken up by the Ram Jethmalani, undoubtedly, and the great judgment was given by Ram Jethmalani. So even this should be carefully written by the law correspondent because he's well aware of the subject, he's well aware of the terminology, and he should be very sub judice. What is sub judice? Ab initio, certiorari. So you won't be knowing it all. So this has to be known to even to the reporter as well as sub-editor too. Okay, we cannot wait till the reporter comes to the office, or or maybe the law correspondent send this particular. I may say that a report from the court trial, the court and all. Okay, now so you have to very careful. That's the reason. Beforehand, but to read the story in advance. You should know in advance the inputs of that particular story. We have to follow the story should be there. అర్థమవుతుందా? So even that should be taken care by the sub-editor. Preparation of the copy and all. Yeah, preparation of the copy means when they given this copy, give it to you, set it straight properly, get it the pen should be there with you. Okay, edit the copy properly with all some with all the signature or maybe signs and so on. Sign of the copy, the editing should be done by you, and get a proper headline. Okay, and make it a single column. Everything specifically should, because it should be a clean copy before sending to the news editor. And check it out. News editor is very careful, and he'll take into your consideration your performance in the office also. Okay, performance means how you're editing the story and all. Did you left anything? Did you deleted anything important letter or word or in the sentence? Will be taken care, right? So that's the reason I'm telling you. Exploit your product's benefits and product's benefits. So each and everything, whenever you find anything related to the, sorry, what is exploit your product's benefits means? For example, you got some advertising also. No, As I told you, because page layout, we have the advertisement will be there. Okay, even the advertisement should be, you have to go through that also. Though it has come from the advertising section and has gone through the proofreader initially. Okay, now it has come to ad agency. Obviously, as a sub-editor, also had to go through it carefully. Okay, now where is tagline? Is it address is given properly or not? Illustration given properly or not? Just have one look also, because these also, these are the benefits for the newspaper as well as for the agency. Is it clear? So we have to think in mutual way. That is either side, two sides. Okay, it is not one side. It doesn't mean that you're working for the newspaper. I have to work for the newspaper. Whatever I get in the newspaper, no, I just edit and give it to. No, we have to think in the point of the reader, as I told you. In the same way, we have to think in the point of the advertising section or the client section. Okay, then you have to edit the copy, right? We had to, that's the reason what I'm telling you. Had to product should be benefited, because if you do the proper work, obviously we expect more advertisements, right? Yeah. Know your audience, as I told, because reader audience very important thing that we have to keep in mind the reader initially for all the stories, for all the work you done or published works in the print media. Keep in point of the reader. Okay, why? We get the response from them with the help of the latest to the editor. So this is to be, because that attribution should be there from you. Is it clear to you? So 20%, 10%, whatever it is, what the contribution, what the attribution is there from your side, okay, that should be become a good story, a profile story, a success story, right? Yeah. Now, each and everything should be communicated properly, and don't hesitate anything to ask if you are having a doubt. And again, don't overlook each and every story and all, and understand your medium, understand your audience and all. Okay, and don't add too much information being given in newspaper and all, or maybe in the particular story, a repetition will be there. So avoid that. No repetition should be there. That's the reason we have to edit the copy properly. Strike it off, strike in a proper way, as per the no as per the what are the punctuation marks and all, right? So as for the signs of the editing signs and all, right? That can be easily understand by the proofreader, because that will go to the proofreader. And okay, and yeah, is it clear? That goes to the proofreader, where he'll taken care. He takes care about the editing symbols, signs, and all, right? Yeah. So make it a more simpler word, simple English, rewriting the copy, where you find the translation to be done by you. Okay, this has to be followed by preparation of the dummy. So what is it generally the dummy means? It is a page. No, you end up, so when you open a page, you find the masthead, right? Title of the page and all. Okay, and each and every page you find the date line will be there. Did you check it? Yes. Okay, date line will be there on each and every page, right? So that is each and every dummy also. Of a dummy means without any pasting any stories, right? Even dummy has a creation, that is, they decided what story should be written in the particular column. Okay, so even the dummy also has a page number, the volume, the date line. Okay, the page number that will be there for each and every dummy papers also. Now, what is offline editing? Offline editing is filmmaking and television production in which raw footages is copied and edited without affecting the camera, original film stock or video tape. Generally, what happens, I think if it's some related to the video production or the television production, if you're aware of that, if you made any films and all, generally it's called as rushes. So it goes to the editor. What does it do? He takes care audio and visual thing also, right? So in this rushes also, we had to take care about each and everything, because he dump everything into his system. Okay, and he keeps that keeps it on his system. Okay, wait is to be audio and again video. Two separate lines are there. No, two separate pockets will be there in the format of editing of the production. Which one? Audiovisual production. Right, ma? So suppose, now we are going to the non-linear editing. If you, I don't want to tell everything. So editing, that is editing, linear editing and non-linear editing. What is linear editing? Earlier we used to have linear editing. Very, very tough it was. Now, after digitalization, after getting into the digitalization of the newspaper, it is become more easier because it is become called as non-linear editing. Mean to say that the editor, we want editor, the video editor has to do the non-linear editing where suppose you've gone for the maybe any minister's meeting. Okay, you do the recording, a visual recording, maybe audio recording. So you submit to your video editor. Is it clear? I'm talking about the television or maybe channel or maybe print media. For example, generally even the print media also reporters also good doing the no visual editing as sorry video recording as well as the audio recording also. So generally what happens, the event should be taking care of the audio production. Okay. So when I dump in the system, obviously the editor, the video editor will take care about the what editing been blur is there or not, voice been missing, a letter is missing. Okay. So how long it has come and all, right? To taken care by the editor. Is it clear to you? So even this is also been important related to the offline editing, where the film production, filmmaking, or filmmaker or the video editor will sit together and do the footage, the raw footage, the rushes, the copied and edited and all, right? Even that should be taken care by the in the offline editing. What is online editing? Is a post-production linear video editing process that is performed in the final stage of video production. As I told you, because offline editing and online editing. So as I keep on telling right now, because what is the footage or the rushes being received by you, to it will be uploaded in your system, and again audio video will be taken care, right? And what are the each and every web version will be repeated and all, what are the editing been updated and all, what revision has to be done and all, where the correction is needed and all, it will be taken care by the video editor. Right. No, this is the so for example, the video editing skills and all. I mean, because why we need editing skills to read it properly, to make understand the content properly, okay, na, and to also to know to get the content very easily understandable, even the commoner, right? That's the reason we need to have editing skills. We need to have an editing properly because the organization or maybe say that editors generally they prioritize deadline. Suppose we cannot produce, we cannot edit the copy. It cannot take more time. Is it clear? So that's why you have to in rushing. You have to do the work. In even rush also, you have to very concentrate and focus yourself and do the work properly. You cannot take the puffing the cigarette or chai pite away. No, better not to. Okay, so this has to be avoided. Maybe talking to somebody, attending a call and all, that should be really, really avoidable. They not allow you to do that. Only during leisure time, they're allowed to go. Or when you complete the story, you may take the permission from the news editor and can leave for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, not beyond that. I'm telling you. Okay. Only when the break is coming to you, okay, after the completion of your work and all, you may give maybe your lunchtime, not beyond that. Please remember this, because every work is important. We go against the time, and very precious time is to spend here in the print media or in the editing media houses to taken care by all. Right now, digital tools for editing. What are the digital tools for editing? Adobe Photoshop still lands on, because still we follow that digital tools for editing. I think if you know about the digital design, digital Photoshop, more wonderful. Okay, now and again InDesign also another digital tool for editing also. Now there are many less there. GIMPZ. GNU Image Manipulation Program is an open source application that relies on a community of volunteer developers who maintain and improve the product. So if you are interested in editing, please try to understand, please learn that skills also, because that definitely become great asset to you if you know the editing skills also, right? So we have separate available for Mac and PC, and Apple is a very, very expensive system. Okay. And if when we can purchase Apple, so even the Apple also very beautiful with the editing can be done. A good can make a films also. You can make big, big stories also can be edited on the Apple, right? Even Mac also can be carried out. There's also expensive 1 lakh se kam nahi hai. So even this should be taken into consideration. Think about technology and think about system and all. So when you have the hand and all, so initially we start with the Photoshop. Initially we start with the in design and all. So that way, InDesign is meant for the publication, okay, and it's more really Photoshop is meant for the story to be carried out offline or and sorry, online editing can be done and all right now. So please check it out. The Photoscape is also there. Different tools are there for the digital editing. Picasa is there. Serif Photo Plus. So please go through it carefully. What are there and what the really help in production in the editing of any story or maybe in related to any production which you made in the form of maybe the film, short film, maybe the mobile journalism also, right? Online attendance is also being pixlr.com as a tried offering that is entirely free. That is, even we have also free sites also been available, but free sites are there. So only for temporary basis. They may, they may give the chance for you to utilize their tools and all for the editing, but generally, it is only for a few days, maybe some hours, I think. So after starting your editing skills of the online process, and on maybe free online service, okay, so they become an obstacle for you to continue service, to continue your work at all. So better not to go for such as sites which are offering free, and better go for the software which you have purchased, subscribed on your own, because you have to pay for each and everything now, because it is commercialized. You are using for your purpose, for using some, for your production and all. So obviously, you have to purchase it and download in your system by subscribing is also very important. IPCS, so many things are, you can check it out. The textbook, Photo simplifies the photo editing process. Click through a few menus to crop, brighten, and tweak your photos. The photo is another process, also photo editing. This is photo editing. There's a cropping. So please remember the words which you come across in the text form in your textual matter. That become great, they make ask in the UGC net examination such questions. So whenever you find such words which you come across, which are new, innovative topics, which innovative words come across, please underline and check it out what it really meant about, right? Yeah. So this is the summary. Would like to carry on. Now we go for the, so next page is, skills for reading, editing, sorry. This is a page 104. Okay. Now we have editing skills also there. Editing, see each and every editorial policy. As I told you, because each and media house has its own editorial policy. Okay. What are editorial policy? Typeface, and again, and again, they have their own rules and regulations that have been given for the editor, for the sub-editor, for the reporter, and all that are fixed to that particular guidelines given by the editorial policy in a newspaper and all, related publications, maybe the story, eliminating stories and all, and again, deleting the stories, maybe editing the story should be carried out under the guidelines given in the media houses. That is the editing policy, editorial policy should be strictly adhere to that and do the work, because you cannot create a story from your side, and you should come from the from you, but it's under the guidelines given by the respective media houses. Is it clear to you? They had to be very careful. And you cannot, each and every word will be weighted, as I told, because in the journalism, we weigh and write, we weigh and speak. We are not linguist. We are not we are not producing the content for speaking purpose. No, we are producing the content for the print media for the reader's purpose, because even the reader has the time to read the content, but not as a as like any a speaker, maybe a general talk and all. So that's the reason you have to be very careful. So when it comes to the point of the social media, quite different. When it comes to the point of television, radio, social media, are quite different to come to the content. But in the print media, we use more space and it has a more time for this. That's the reason we take the more content produced in the newspaper print media than the television, radio, and the social media. Please remember this. Okay, now when you think of editorial, what is editorial? Generally in the newspaper editorial page, you find one or two stories. Experts will write on some environment day. They may they may write on something related to the millets and all. Something may they write on the you know rice varieties and all. Something they may write on the communal harmony. Maybe something someday, because I'm telling only subject expertise will be called to write the editorial. Even including editor or news editor can write. Anybody can write the editorial, but it should really get to the point of the guidelines given in the editorial policy. Is it clear? You cannot belittle anybody. Don't tame anybody. Don't take the caste, creed, or religion, anything. You cannot underestimate anything. You cannot insult any community and all, right? And you cannot even the insult the national flag of any country or demeaning somebody. No, they should be avoidable. So even what are the guidelines given the editorial policy, we stick on to even writing the editorial too, right? Yeah, that's very important. So that was given in the guidelines given editorial policy. You have to be very careful. And somehow the types of editorial will be persuasive, will be there, explanatory will be there, obituary, endorsement. So obviously, when you think about endorsement, paid news, what is called paid news? No, generally, it was controversy also there related to the paid news. What is the paid news? Mean to say that if you pay, no, if you pay amount, the payment is made, I'll publish this particular news. So that was the paid news was also there. It was some time back. I don't know, under the table, maybe no, it still is existing, still is followed by some of the newspapers. I'm not aware, but it has come. Even, Srinivas Reddy and again Thakurda Guha. Yeah. They did a very good survey. They got the project also. And Press Council of India has given such target for them. And they could present a beautiful presentation being done by these two, Srinivas Reddy Garu and again Thakurda. Okay. Guha. So, yeah, on paid news, I'm talking about. You can check it out. You can just check it out. Okay. Now, goals of editor make people think. So, generally, do you read newspaper editorial every day? Does it preparing for the UPSC, preparing for any state or maybe an examination? Those that read to understand the editorial. Those who write the editorial, okay, and they want to improve the content and all. Speakers, the readers, the writers, they also read such editorial policy and all, the editorial every day, right, ma? So generally, even because when you read it carefully, we make it think also. Because it influences you. It may also not. It makes you to think again. Is it clear? That impact should be created by the editorial writer in the editorial section, right? Yeah. Now we have editorial management is there. What is editorial management? So generally we have editorial policy because managing executive will be taken care. Is it clear? So what the crucial decision will be taken by the newspaper organization. Okay, now what has been ensuring editorial activities will run on. Editorial management is there, ma. Okay. He'll take what is there. Editorial is there. Today, what the topics should be taken care, what the topics should be written, by whom, at what time should be submitted and all. If not submitted, there was an alternative and all. So for this, we need editorial management also be designed where they can include or they take the key management function will be taken care relate to the editorials. Am I getting to you? Yeah. So an editorial meeting will be there for each and every day. Every day members will be sitting as I told you earlier also. It's still sitting at 10 o'clock and they sit and discuss what been left, what been not printed in the newspaper compared to the other newspapers and all. Something is missed by the reporter, or maybe the sub-editor have been done some mistake and all. It may happen. See, mistakes will be done by anybody, or it happens. It's unavoidable. But still, it will be reduced also. Really, it should be minimized. We always try to do the minimize the mistakes, errors, and all, such that become more professional and more wanted in the market by the reader. That is very motto of the any print media or the print media house. Is it clear to you? So that should be carried out by each and every employee or the contributor, including columnist, including editorial writer too, a subject expert. Okay, dear, that's it. Suppose COP29. I don't know when is COP29 held. What is COP26? What are these called as? Did you heard about this word? So generally for environment specialist, obviously he can understand what is COP26, what COP27, COP28, COP29, वगैरह वगैरह. Is it clear to you? That way. So generally, each and every editorial has introduction, body, and conclusion, like any article writing, like any essay writing, like any letter writing. Is it clear to you? Even editorial also has introduction, body, and the conclusion. Same way. Just read it carefully, ma. You can understand very clearly. And some message kuda untundi ikkada. Persuasive undi kada. And also explanatory undi ikkada. Different types of chadukunnam kada. So dantlo you find all different types of being editorial written by the expert should be read by the reader, because that should attract the reader. That's very important. You cannot ignore the editorial. So that topic should be taken by the newspaper policy, okay, in their editorial meeting every day. Is it clear to you? What really, you see, we had to read the pulse of the audience. What the audience wants from your newspaper. What they intend to read it. What they would like to read it. Okay, now, what the story has been really beneficial for the society. Is it clear? You cannot write on communal harmony and all. You cannot write on something related to environment and all. Pollution hai. We can write on something related to the crime reporting, death here, animal culled, and again, molested, deaths were undertaken, fallen from the building and all. So all should be repeated. No. We should have all the masala. Should have all the rice resource in the newspaper too. Okay. That's the reason. There, he has to check the reader's interest and again desires and again their requirement. That's very important related to the section or story, selection of story. Tips for writing good editorial: be decisive. What I mean, see, when you're clear about your subject, okay, na, and again for that to clarity in your subject only, you'll become more decisive in writing also, dear children. Okay, na? And please try to become input more idea, innovative idea with good idea. No repetition. For example, suppose into the corruption, corruption. Okay, na. And there's a corruption country. It's in when think about world index or it is 129th in world index order. So if that's the case, mean to say that we have to know thoroughly of the subject of the corruption, okay, na, and where to stand and how to avoidable and what innovative idea should be generated by the writer, where the people or the reader can understand and get and think twice where they cannot involve in the corruption. That message should be even drawn into your writing such that reader will stick to your writing and go through it carefully and understand properly. And again, he may not, and again, get into thinking, that's what the editorial should impact the reader. Is it clear? Yeah. And provide solutions also. Right. Yeah. And focus on your interest. The first focus, for example, is suppose you're writing on something related to your, crime rate is increasing in Hyderabad. crime rate is increasing. So how to arrest the crime rate? Okay, now who are involved? What society has to do? What the community has to do? What the police law and order had to be done and all? What the state government has to do? What the home minister will do? Okay, now how to arrest that crime rate should be reduced and all. So when you design uh, on the particular editorial, obviously you talk to the people. Okay, now you refer some books and all. You speak to your immediate boss and all. Right. That way, you should write a better piece of editorial also, where you can read, understand, and get in the mind also. Right? Yeah. Now we go for the advertorial. We have one more class, dear. We have one more class, online class. Hello?
Yes, madam.
I know?
Yes,
Yeah.
madam.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I can complete, no problem. Now, what is the advertorial? Advertorial is a form of editorial. It's called an advertorial. Mean to say that with the help of the editorial, you see in editorial na, so advertorial and editorial ne advertisement dagi untadannamata. That's called advertorial. It usually looks like in genuine news story or television, but it is a type of information commercial. Information plus commercial purpose and matter. Mean to say that editorial is information. So if it all added in the advertisement, okay, now what is that? You may ask me, madam, how it's possible? How the advertisement will come into the editorial section and all? How the editorial written with the help of the advertisement? Yes, ma'am. Definitely. Okay, now. So, how it differs from generally freelancers, staff writers tend to get assigned editorials with the articles usually taking up entire sections and matter. So, generally, what happens? The clients tend to approve the content of editorials, which is not something that happens in regular editorials. So, generally, what happens? Suppose for example, during festivals and all, Diwali festival, Ramzan festival, okay, ma. So we get more advertisements and all. So what happens, the advertorial for Bajaj Electronics, for example, Bajaj Electronics, maybe Tirupati Electronics. Okay, now they give more of shops, but they give more discount and matter during festival time, Ramzan, maybe even West Side Guda, if you go to West Side in the month of July something, lot of offers ఉంటాయి half of the rate అనమాట. సో అర్థమవుతుందా? సో దాని మీద సపోజ్ if at all that link, that is the West Side or maybe the ఇక్కడ ఉన్నారు కదా కమర్షియల్ పర్పస్ అనమాట. సో అడ్వర్టైజ్ ఇన్ న్యూస్ పేపర్ అమ్మా. ఓకేనా? So what happens, we get the advertisements from that particular company, from the client, okay, now, where we write on the editorials on the particular client and the products and the market also. That way. So you have different forms of advertisers also been there. Right, ma? Yeah, that way. Okay. In others, the editorials might be simple write-ups. Either can be effective, but there are few editorial best practice you will want to get right. Okay, now. So generally, for special occasions, you may get whenever you find advertisements more, or maybe the advertisement agency has given more advertisements in newspaper and all. He'll convince you, persuade you to write something related to the company in the editorial section. Then obviously, as a columnist, as a writer, as a editorial section, editorial writer, we take up that issue and make it a more elaborate way and more convincing way and more persuasive way. అర్థమవుతుందా? That way. So, message ఉండాలా, solution ఉండాలా, persuasion కూడా ఉండాలి. Right, ma? అది. So we had to understand advertorials because advertorials are not ads and can provide useful information. Consumers may be more likely to pay attention to them and read than a regular advertisement. So దీని వల్ల purpose ఏంటంటే, because the storytelling in ideally a true one that draws upon the reader's problems or fears that then describes how the product or the service being sold can resolve the issue. As I told you right now, ఓకేనా? సో ఎప్పుడైతే మనకి అటువంటి అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్ వస్తున్నాయో అండ్ ద న్యూస్ పేపర్, ఓకేనా, హౌ జెన్యున్లీ దే కెన్ ఫాలో ఇట్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అమ్మా, డ్రగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి అమ్మా, డ్రగ్స్ లేకపోతే మెడిసిన్స్ లేకపోతే ఆయుర్వేదిక్ అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్స్ or how generally you can follow it. So here's we had to, unless you have to prove, unless you have authentic information ఉంటే గానీ మనం దాని మీద రాయకూడదు కూడాను. ఓకేనా? అందుకే that's why authentic informed persons only can write on those editorials where they can inform the public, educate them, inform them. That's all. Right? Yeah. So be true to media and conform it. Please be true yourself. The writer should be very true, and should authentic information be provided by him in the form of the editorial writing, advertorial writing. Go get the reader. Yeah. So whatever it is, intent is only to get the reader. Kada? Attention drawn towards the reader. Is it clear? And call of action should be the call to action in the content, or at least a clear relevance to the brand and the story you're working with. The tool right now, brand and west side and kada. Okay, na maybe maybe Atanavaru Patanjali undi kada, Patanjali Wellness Center. Is it clear? I've been to the Patanjali Wellness Center. So many are there. And again, they follow the meditation, they go to medicines and all, they go Ayurvedic medicines and all, vagara vagara. Agar konisaalu one thing long back, I think it has come when I was in Lucknow. I could hear the story that in the Patanjali products, you find that bone powder is adding in that particular products and all. So we don't know, because we have FSSs, I take care about that. Food inspectors they take care about that. Sorry, not food inspectors. Okay, now. And again, FSS I take care about that. And also related to the ASCII people will take care about that. Okay, now. And again, consumer forum, they take care about the consumer week, as you don't know. They take care about the what have been added and all, the tested in the lab and all. That if it is proved, that will be definitely you'll be penalized. Is it clear? That should be taken care of, everything. So see, don't think that what have been produced by you and can reachable through with the help of the media in the form of the advertisement. And when your advertisement is given more, and we always think that the editor or the publisher will go for advertisement, and he always go for the advertisement. If he get more advertisement, more money anukuntaru. Because when generally the general established newspapers, they never go for such an idiotic version of the particular unauthorized dealers or maybe supplies and all. No. Okay, now that's the reason we recheck each and everything. That's what is called as a established newspaper, established print media like the Hindu, the Times of India, and again the Hindustan Times, the Nijagaran, the Statesman, vagara vagara. Okay, na Business Standard. So ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఒక స్టాండర్డ్ ఉన్నాయి, ఒక క్వాలిటీ ఉన్నాయి. They follow some authentic information. They follow a recheck and checking will be there and all. Fact checking ఉంటుంది అక్కడంతా కూడా. They do such fact checking will be there from their resources అన్నమాట. Okay, they have the research wing కూడా ఉంటుంది వాళ్ళకి. They help a research wing, that fact checking wing and all. They do a lot of things. And don't think that what has been printed in the newspaper will be followed by the reader. No. And the reader is also very clever, very, very awareness has come in the reader, where he know what is good, what is bad and all. So that's the reason you have to be very careful, even related to editorial, where the editorial versus advertorial. So the editorial is very different from editorial. Editorial is a paid article story, clearly marked as paid, that accompanies an advertisement, as I told you right now. చెప్పాను కదా, అదనమాట. Businesses can write what they want in these pieces, and the stories don't have to be the news value. కొన్నిసార్లు మెసేజ్ కూడా ఇస్తారు, బికాస్ యాజ్ ఇట్ రెంట్ ద ఎడిటోరియల్ కాబట్టి. ఓకేనా? కొన్ని జనరలీ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ సో యాజ్ ఎనీ ఎడిటోరియల్ పీస్, బట్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్లీ అడ్వర్టోరియల్ అంతే. రైట్ మా? యా. ఆర్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎడిటింగ్. As it always art or a class. The skill or art అనుకోవచ్చు. Suppose if you get a question, art, editing is an art or a skill? You may get a question because you got the syllabus. So what do you say that? What do you draw the conclusion? How are you going to do this? How are you going to write on this? Art of editing. When you can call it as art, when you got a skill, anybody? I know Bharatanatyam. I learned Bharatanatyam. right? There's an art. How this art can be improvised or become skill and turn as an art. I'm a skill of talking, right? I can fluently talk, speak without not stop on a subject, on my journalism subject, on any subject of journalism, right? And if I specialized environment, right, or specialized in law, media law, or any entertainment law, then definitely I'll be more artistically present in the media law specify specialized art. Is it clear to you? That way. So when you are habituated to write, understand clearly what been added by you as an editor, as an sub-editor, and learn many things, the art skill to do the editing part. Whatever the piece be given, the big story, a beautiful story, volume of book been given to you, but still you're able to do concentrate and focus and do the editing without any error, mirroring each and everything in the text or in the written matter, what have been designed by the writer, and get in the mind of the writer, author, and you do the editing, dear children. That is called art of editing. Is it clear? Right. So read frequently. We always do that. We have to read a lot. If at all you want to be journalism, read a variety of books, irrespective of knowledge, irrespective of language. If you know Tamil, read the Tamil language books. If you know French, read the books also. If you know Hindi, Telugu, English, read it. The language matters. If you marry the language, am I getting to you? Yeah, that wonders. You can create wonders. If you know many languages, multilinguistic, wonderful for the profession, in the profession. If you know typing, shorthand vachindanko, to get asset for you. I don't have a shorthand. I can very fast do the typing. I'm good in typing. Very, very fast I do it. But I don't have a shorthand. That become great. Like you and me, right? I went to the reporter, so I could jot down very fast. I can write very fast, quickly, very fast. But still, I miss some points, some words. In write down the shorthand when I was a reporter. Is it clear? So they all become asset if you learn each and everything. Don't think certificate course, panikostuna leda. Never think about that. Learn what have been, could be done by you, the project juncture, the future. Always remain the learner, dear child. That's what I expect that. Okay. Now, so that's the reason you have to read frequently, read it thoroughly, read it properly, make it habit of reading more. Understand writing styles. See, as I told you, because I have my own understanding, teaching way, methodology. The same way the writers also have their own style of writing. Explanatory ఉంటుంది, descriptive ఉంటుంది, with the quotation start చేయొచ్చు. Okay, now some may write with a very beautiful explanatory describing way of the environment of the situation and all. Okay, they may start with the W for W1H. That way, madam. The different styles can be written in the editorial also. Okay, na. So ఈ విధంగా మనం చేసుకుంటే really wonderful మాట. So writing styles ఏమి ఉన్నాయో అంటే see child. So whenever you story you get on your table అనుకోమా, so try to read it thoroughly, properly. Okay, na. And you definitely come to the style of writing of the author అనమాట. For example, you got a syndicate column from the PTI. Maybe you got a feature article from your freelancer. Maybe you got may say that your correspondent write-up. Maybe you got a reporter write-up. Maybe your sub-editor written some write-up. Different write-ups on different subjects. So you can easily make out who wrote this particular article, who wrote this particular feature writing. You can easily make out. So that's the reason when you read thoroughly for each and every writer, different writers me chaduta unte, definitely come to the style of writing, style of editing also can more easier for you. Adamotunda? Yeah. So we have got editing principles. What are editing principles? Accuracy, attribution, right? Balance and fairness, brevity, clarity, readability, human interest, and sharp observation. Very, very clear. You wrote very well. Sharp observation, sharp undala editing ki. Journalism tene sharp ama. Reporter or sub-editor, editor or news editor. Okay, now a reporter or a correspondent, law correspondent, any correspondent, war correspondent, science correspondent, sports correspondent, business correspondent. So many correspondents were there. What they do? That is very sharp and meticulously do the work. Okay, now ఇక్కడ accuracy అంటున్నాం ఇక్కడ. దాని sub-editor write it properly, obsession with accuracy, because one mistake can destroy the reputation of a newspaper or a magazine. Is it clear to you? Yes. Attribution. Attribute the news to the source so that readers can judge its credibility. What is attribution? For example, you got the news story from PTI. That's called attribution, from where you got the source. But to give the credit of that particular source. Without giving the credit of the source, that become great detrimental for your company, for your organization. He may blame you. He defame you. Is it clear? And if you get taken the title, if you get the title or give that credit for that particular source, it's more wonderful. He can produce more. He can submit more. Right? But ఏం చేస్తున్నాం మనం అంతా ప్లేగరిజం చేస్తున్నాం. What they do, cut and paste copy. You take some, you read so many books and all, read some articles and all. I know it's happened. It's going to happen in your project, I'm telling you. Okay, na? అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాము, what you do, cut and paste అనమాట. అరే nobody, it's only PMCJ కదా, it's only what is that, distance education కదా, nobody will take care about that, nobody look into it అనుకుంటాము. ఓకేనా? ఓకే, ఇక్కడ if at all plagiarism is been adopted in your MCJ project, that nobody will have a and can produce a better piece. So ఏం చెప్తున్నానంటే, you should have your own policy. Give the credit of each and every attribution ఇవ్వాల్సింది అక్కడ వాళ్ళకి ఎవరైతే మీద తీసుకున్నారో, వాట్ ఫ్రమ్ where you got the source and give the attribution for that particular writer, author, source, website, web page, newspaper, news page, volume, వగేరా అన్ని ఇస్తే more good for you. అంటే you won't blamed అనమాట. You won't given any you be clear చిట్ ఇస్తారు, మీకు క్లీన్ చిట్ ఇస్తారు. లేకపోతే plagiarized, maybe you had to write again. అట్లా మనకి రిమార్క్స్ కూడా రావచ్చు. బ్యాలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫెయిర్నెస్ చూసుకోండి. ప్లీజ్ టేక్ కేర్ అబౌట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫెయిర్నెస్. never ever do any mistake in reporting or subbing a story without favoring a party and favoring the other party. Right? Be careful. Brevity అంటే ప్రిసైజ్ గా రాయడం నేర్చుకోండి. ప్రిసైజ్, డూ ఇట్ ప్రిసైజ్లీ. రిపోర్ట్ మీన్స్ లైక్ గెట్ ఎ గుడ్ స్టోరీ అమ్మా. Law correspondent may give he is a correspondent. He doesn't know how to skills of editing. No. So that's the reason you are there. Who? Sub-editor is there to do the editing. He has to take charge of that. Is it clear? Then only more easier for the now readability. Readability ఎందుకు? నువ్వు రాసిన చదివేటట్టు ఉండాలా. The readability should be there where the reader can understand in a one glance, one reading. It can understand it properly if it is focusing and all. So that's the reason, without any jerks or without any mistakes, without any error in the spelling mistakes, in the syntax mistake, avoid that. So readability undal. Human interest anamata. Generally, if we suppose you're sub-editor, human story ante enti, suppose a bichagadu unnadu akkada on the roads anamata. If you do a story on that particular, at the crossroads you find, at the Chaurasta you find some people and all, one woman carrying, I could see one Afzalganj. I was going to Afzalganj. I could see the woman, very, very bad condition, I could say that. I shouldn't, very, very sorry to say that, Amar. Women and the exploit chestarani cheppadu. So we don't know. I know so many stories and all. How they exploit at night. They turn into more, flesh trade will be there. How they misuse them, I know that. ఓకేనా. సో కొందరు అందరూ అట్లా అట్లా అనమాట. సో షీ వాస్ వాట్ ఇస్ షీస్ క్యారింగ్ హ్యాండిక్యాప్డ్ మ్యాన్ ఆన్ హర్ బ్యాక్ అండ్ షీస్ టేకింగ్ ద అట్లా క్రాస్ రోడ్ దగ్గర అఫ్జల్ గంజ్ దగ్గర అక్కడ అడుగుతున్నామే, భిక్షం అడుగుతుంది ఒక్కొక్కరిని. ఐ ఫెల్ వెరీ బ్యాడ్. అట్లా ఉన్నారు అక్కడ అట్లా, బికాస్ దే బికమ్ మోర్ సబ్మిసివ్ అండ్ బై సీయింగ్ హర్ వీక్నెస్ అండ్ ఆల్, అండ్ సమ్ పీపుల్ విల్ బి ఎక్స్ప్లాయిట్ దెమ్. ఓకేనా, ఇప్పటికీ అట్లా జరుగుతూనే ఉంది అది. ఓకేనా, వెన్ ఐ టెల్ ఎ స్టోరీ, దర్ ఇస్ నో టైమ్ ఫర్ మీ రైట్ నా. ఓకేనా, అట్లా చాలా జరుగుతాయి అన్నమాట అట్లాగా. నో దిస్ దట్ వే హ్యూమన్ స్టోరీ కూడా కేర్ఫుల్ గా చక్కగా నీట్ గా ఎడిట్ చేసి హృదయంగా టచింగ్ గా స్టోరీస్, ఓకే, వెరీ కోట్ కొటేషన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు వెరీ కేర్ఫుల్ గా ఎడిట్ చేసి అండ్ టు ద పాయింట్, కనెక్ట్ టు ద స్టోరీ, connect to the dialogue should be written, should be done by the sub-editor. That really interests the reader, amma. Adi. Basic principles of editing. Give the main points of the news in the first paragraph. చెప్పాను కదా 5511 H ఇక్కడ అది కూడా ఉండాల్సి, హెడ్లైన్ ఉండాల్సిందే. ఓకేనా, చెక్ ద టైటిల్స్, నేమ్స్, ఫిగర్స్, ఫ్యాక్ట్స్, డేట్స్, అడ్రస్ వేరే లైటెడ్ అండ్ అనుకోండి, డెఫినెట్ గా మనం టు చెక్ అనమాట. రెఫరెన్స్ బుక్ ఉంటుంది కదా మనకి, వీ హ్యావ్ డోంట్ స్టైల్ బుక్ రెఫరెన్స్ బుక్ ఉంటుంది కదా, చెక్ దట్. ఇఫ్ ఐ గోట్ ఇఫ్ ఐ డౌట్, ప్లీజ్ refer the reference book and the style book. Please remember that. These are all very basic things to be a editor, sub-editor. Both sides of the story in a dispute must be given. So ఇక్కడ either side గా ఒక సైడ్ కాకుండా, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కమ్యూనిటీ డిస్టర్బెన్స్ అన్నమా, సో ఒక సైడ్ స్టోరీ కాకుండా రెండు సైడ్ వినాలా మనం. యాజ్ అ జడ్జిమెంట్ ఊరికే ఇస్తున్నామా? ఒక జడ్జి ఎట్లా ఇస్తారు, సేమ్ వే యాజ్ ఎ రిపోర్టర్, యాజ్ ఎ సబ్ ఎడిటర్ ఆల్సో హ్యావ్ టు గివ్ ద బోత్ జడ్జ్మెంట్ ఇన్ అ స్టోరీ. రెండు సైడ్లు చూసుకొని మాట్లాడాలి, అంతేగాని ఒకే సైడ్ మాట్లాడేస్తే నో, ఇట్ విల్ బి అ బార్డ్ లాంగ్వేజ్. ఓకేనా, దట్స్ బార్డ్ స్టోరీ. యూజ్ షార్ట్ సెంటెన్స్ అండ్ షార్ట్ పారాగ్రాఫ్ ఆల్వేస్ అనమాట. స్పేస్ ఉంది కదా, న్యూస్ పేపర్ కదా, ప్రింట్ మీడియా కదా, ఐ సబ్మిట్ ద స్టోరీ, ద ప్రూఫ్ విల్ టేక్ కేర్ అబౌట్ దట్ అంటే ఇట్ విల్ గో టు ద డస్ట్బిన్ అనమాట. ప్లీజ్ బీ కేర్ఫుల్. షార్ట్ గా స్వీట్ గా ఉండాలా, షార్ట్ పారాగ్రాఫ్, షార్ట్ సెంటెన్స్ రాయడం నేర్చుకోండి. Try to practice it properly. Beware of foreign names. Yeah. For example, Elizabeth అనుకోండి, very popular name. James, popular name. Okay na. Fitzgerald, we don't know. Okay na. Putin, PUTH అని రాసామనుకో, వెరీ రాంగ్ అయిపోతుంది. Got the point? Atla, the foreign names and authors or anything ఉన్నప్పుడు కూడా very carefully attribute yourself, give the proper attribution, proper name and all, proper title and all, proper designation and all, proper meaning and all should be given by you, right? The story for specific images and visual word pictures and matter. Ekkada word pictures ఉన్నాయో అక్కడ specific names ఇవ్వడము, ఒకటి ప్లస్ క్యాప్షన్స్ సరిగ్గా ఇవ్వడము. క్యాప్షన్ లో కూడా ఈవెన్ ద క్యాప్షన్ ఆల్సో ఇట్ ప్రాపర్ టైటిల్, ప్రాపర్ డెసిగ్నేషన్, ప్రాపర్ మీనింగ్, ఇంటాక్ట్ స్టోరీ యాజ్ పర్ ద పిక్చర్, రైట్? యా. బీ కేర్ఫుల్ అబౌట్ ప్రొనౌన్స్. హీ, షీ ఉంటుంది అక్కడ, అర్థమవుతుంది. దే, దేర్, దీస్, ఓకేనా, దిస్, దీస్, దే, దేర్. వెరీ కేర్ఫుల్. చాలా మిస్టేక్ ఇప్పటికీ రాస్తారు, ఇప్పటికీ ఐ ఫైండ్ సచ్ మిస్టేక్స్ ఇన్ మై స్టూడెంట్స్ ఆల్సో. దే డోంట్ నో వాట్ ఇస్ దేర్ అండ్ ది THER తెలియదు, THIEIR కూడా తెలియదు. దే డోంట్ నో మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ బికాస్ నో టీచర్ విల్ టీచ్ దెమ్. The paper will out. I'm telling you, in degree colleges, what they do, the teacher doesn't teach at all. And what they do, they give the paper out అయిపోతుంది, అది పాస్ చేయించేస్తారు. If you ask them, it happens to me. It happens to me also. If you are sitting very, very careful, I want the quality, I want the standards, then only I teach them. Okay, I make them to work. They want, because లేకపోతే ఎందుకమ్మా చదివేందుకు, ఇంకా నేను ఇంకా చెప్పడం ఎందుకు, టీచర్ ఎందుకు ఇంకా కదా. సో అది అటువంటిది ఒక మనకు ఆ కమిట్మెంట్ ఉండాలి ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి. లాంగ్వేజ్ టీచర్ కదా, సబ్జెక్ట్ టీచర్ కదా, ఏమో చెప్పేసి గైడ్స్ దొరుకుతాయి కదా, ఇప్పుడు మనకి అంత గూగుల్ దొరుకుతుంది కదా, లభిస్తుంది కదా అంటే కాదు. దట్స్ నాట్ ద వే. టీచర్ యు ఆర్ దే టు టీచ్ దెమ్ ప్రాపర్లీ. ద సేమ్ వే సబ్జెక్ట్ ఈస్ దే టు edit the copy properly for the reader, not for your personal or anything, right? Yeah. Okay, Nana, then see you again next week. This could be the last end my class. Editing the headlining will be there. Okay, I may complete definitely, inshallah. तो हो जाएगा मेरा, ठीक है? Yeah, anything, headlines, the page number, I'm sorry. Yeah, page number 114 నుంచి మనం
114
చదువుకుందాం
మేడం.
next week.
అవును మేడం.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Stay
ఓకే
safe.
మేడం.
Thank you,
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ma'am.
Thank you.